Greetings, I'm Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian, and welcome back once again to this review channel, giving you the dill of criticism in the gravidlax of discourse. And can I just pre-mind you, in fact, to subscribe to this channel and leave a comment. Now it's time for that lovely semi-regular feature on this channel, in which, while musing and speculating in the fragrant wildflower meadow of culture, we chance across something rather lovely and rather special. Yes, it's Serendipity Corner. This week, I found myself reading Iris Murdoch's 1961 novel A Severed Head, a very bizarre Freudian comedy of infidelity in which a blasé London wine merchant, Martin Lynch-Gibbon, carrying on an affair with Georgia Hands, a textile lecturer at the Royal College of Art, discovers his beautiful wife Antonia is conducting an affair of her own with her charismatic psychoanalyst Palmer Anderson. Morose, resentful, perhaps in shock, perhaps compelled to be sophisticated about this whole business, while still, of course, uneasily aware that he himself is not blameless, Martin agrees to move out of their house into a flat. But matters become more complex still when he encounters Palmer's intense, exotically compelling half-sister Honor Klein. It's a very absurd and now very dated and unfashionable novel, and yet weirdly and undeniably addictive. And as so often with Murdoch, featuring a sexual imbroglio which is in some sense being directed by a charismatic mentor or magus figure, perhaps inspired by the affairs that Murdoch herself had as a young woman, most famously with Elias Canetti. Perhaps the most brilliant insight into Murdoch's creativity was given by A.N. Wilson in his memoir Iris Murdoch As I Knew Her, written as a response or even a rebuke to her husband John Bailey's indiscreet, disloyal books about her descent into Alzheimer's disease, and the subsequent film version, whose distortions Wilson deplored, with Kate Winslet as young Iris and Judi Dench as old Iris. In this, Wilson recounts as a young Oxford don dining with John Bailey at high table, and then being persuaded by Bailey to come with him afterwards to call on another academic, historian Eric Christensen, in his set of panelled rooms, where they discovered Murdoch and Christensen in each other's arms on the chaise longue, though fully clothed. After a surreal and very English hush of embarrassment, Bailey asked Christensen about the film that he'd just been to see. This was the 1972 horror film Deathline, about a cannibalistic monster who roams the tracks of the London Underground, and perhaps herself compelled to fill the embarrassing silence, or perhaps because she really did like the sound of the film, Iris Murdoch herself asked Christensen many questions about it, intrigued by this monster on the tube, and 14 months later published her novel A Word Child, about a man tormented by his own monstrous wrongdoings and infidelity, who travels round and round on the London Underground Circle Line. Did Bailey know that he would witness his wife's infidelity? Did she know? Was it some kind of game between them? Well, it's bizarre to think that this, combined with a cult British horror film, inspired one of her novels. Her books were adapted quite a lot, chiefly for TV and the theatre, but A Severed Head, having been adapted by J.B. Priestley for the stage, was then made into a feature film in 1970, written by Frederick Raphael and directed by Dick Clement, who is to be better known as half of the great comedy writing duo Clement and Lafrene. It's an amazing cast. Ian Holm as Martin, Lee Remick as his wife Antonia, Richard Attenborough as Palmer, Claire Bloom as Honor, and Jenny Linden as Georgia. You can stream it for nothing right now on YouTube.
Well, here I am. What's up?
Sit down, Martin.
How's the upper respiratory tract?
Entirely free of inflammation, thank you.
Well, what else has flared up?
Do we tell him?
Yes, of course we tell him.
Martin, we found out about Georgie Hands.
What exactly have you found out?
Everything, Martin. Everything, everything, everything.
Martin, you've turned our world upside down.
Much as you did to mine, really. I didn't kick against the pricks. I don't see why you should.
It isn't a question of pricks. It's a question of honesty. We can't just leave this thing.
Well, I can, and I'm going to.
Martin, Antonia has a right to hear from you on this.
To hell with Antonia's rights! Antonia's forfeited her rights.
Martin, please don't be rude as well as unkind.
We love you very much. Yes, please. Martin, will you take a cup of parsley tea with us?
I've lost my appetite. Thanks, also.
This film was rather coolly received by critics at the time, on the grounds that it lacked Murdoch's supposed high culture seriousness, and in fact it does omit the details of George's abortion and honours Jewishness. But perhaps all this is to misunderstand both the film and Murdoch's novel, which in fact should be seen, can only be seen, as a bizarre comedy of social dysfunction, which finds expression in something approaching a film version of a West End farce. And maybe Dick Clement, known for his unpretentious comedy, is an inspired choice to direct. It is, in fact, one of Ian Holmes' very best performances on screen. And that's it. Please, will you give this vlog a like and a share on your socials? Please subscribe to this channel and leave a comment. And please, put your hand in your pocket and locate your debit card or the relevant Apple Pay software on your smartphone and buy my book, The Body in the Mobile Library and Other Stories. Details given below. See you next time.